What we believe. Apriorians are apologists. Our aim is to normalize and familiarize the Bible and its teachings. Reality is an ideal we are to manifest or realize. This gives mankind purpose. The Bible serves as our guide. Apriorians believe not only is there a knowledge directly accessible by means of the intellect, we believe reality is ultimately rational, rationalistic, and conceptual. This rational conception of reality is an ideal created by God. It is a perfect conception and contains no flaws. It is a conception of vision we lost when we lost the conception or manifestation of Eden. Eden is a presentation of a perfect reality, that is reality as it was conceived to be. Our rebellion caused us to lose this manifestation, and now we are attempting to re-establish the perfect reality using Scripture as our handbook. Our thought of reality, if coherent, is reality. Perfect reality is perfected thought. What we believe is as real as our faith in it. Absolute truth is ultimately absolute faith. If we cannot believe in it, as is the cases with a contradiction, then it cannot be true or real. Apriorians believe the world is a created reality. Because it was created by God and God is perfect, the reality He created is a perfect ideal. Apologetic is the activity of explaining this creation. People have the ability and willingness to work together, if guided by the right ideas. Is man subject or object? Are we the reason for reality or the outcome? The question that philosophy and human dialogue generally considers is the question, is a man a body or spirit? A deeper discussion could be had on the subject. However, we limit ourselves to making an obvious point: if man is an animal, there is no perfection. If man is an animal, there is no preferred state for him to aspire to. Man as an animal has no recourse but to liberalism, which is another way to say, as animal the only choice we have is to live in the state of nature. Apriorian apologists believe the core feature of man is his ability and obligation to work. Work removes us from the law of the jungle. Work is the actions that drive us towards perfection. Work makes things better. It could be said that work is the only thing that makes sense, regardless of your worldview. The enemy of the work ethic is the loss of the moral ought. Morality is integral to apologetic, it is not part of a liberal worldview. Animals do not have morality. Nor do physical objects subscribe to a moral ought. Man, as a civil creature, must be the subject of a moral ought. The presence of absence of a moral ought defines the difference between the two possible philosophies, one of which is liberalism and the other apologetic. The individual does not just adhere to one of the two modes of philosophical thought, he becomes one of two distinct kinds of person. A person can be a liberal or apologist. Liberalism is the philosophy not just of naturalism but also of the state of nature and the law of the jungle. Apologetic is the idea there is something greater than man and nature that we are beholden to. Apologetic is not just a study of scripture, it is the science of civilization, it exemplifies civil thought and civilized discourse. Apriorian systems support entrepreneurs and entrepreneurism but not blindly or without purpose. We all have an obligation to build community. Apriorians believe in community, we believe people have value and we believe people know and appreciate value. This is why we believe in work and the entrepreneurs who advance different forms of work. Apriorians believe that when given a chance, people prefer to create value rather than destroy that which has value. This is a manifestation of the civil principle, and the innate desire mankind has to be civilized. We try to do better. People would rather work than go to war. We also believe people work best in small groups and that the most viable and sustainable economy is based on small groups. This, we believe, is consistent with the first-century church model. Apriorians believe that perfection is possible and that if perfection is possible, then utopia is a reasonable possibility for our communities. When allowed to create, people will create things that have value. Work has value. Work puts energy into something that exists to make it more ideal. Destruction is irrational and the result of irrational people doing something that cannot be rationally justified, because it destroys value and the products of work. We believe the negativity and waste we see is the result of dark and evil minds divorced from any conception of the good. We believe entrepreneurs are rational people and that they are creative. People who are rational build community, they are the builders of culture. Apriorians believe in entrepreneurs and their capacity to create community, when given the chance to operate in a way governed by their vision. Entrepreneurs are by temperament followers of God because they are intrinsically about creating things with value. Apriorian believes all social costs ultimately fall on a community and its entrepreneurs. Imposing social costs onto entrepreneurs hinders the formation of culture and community. Apriorian believes the only way to stop social costs is by implementing the economics of the Bible. Apriorian theocracy is government or social management based on the truths of Scripture. Apriorian apologetic is guided by the doctrine of subsidiarity. The main purpose of government is to devolve power down to the lowest practical level. Upper administrative levels having only those powers delegated to them. Apriorians restore power to the base by ensuring wealth remains where it is produced, at the local level. The community controls its local resources. Apriorian believes ideas are best expressed in small groups. We believe people in small groups make the best entrepreneurs. We believe entrepreneurs organized in small groups according to the doctrine of subsidiarity are the only feasible method of eliminating social costs. Apriorian supports economic federation of small groups based on the way they create value. Idiocratic economics is a vehicle through which goods and services can be supplied cheaply and efficiently without the need for banks, the state, or private capital. The Bible and its truth is opposed to and inconsistent with liberalism. Churches are not compatible with liberalism's tendency towards globalization. Apriorian believes truth must rule, and those who manifest the truth to the highest degree have the greatest right to be heard. Fidocracy, Fides plus ocracy, is the rule of faith. Apriorian believes faith is the key to civilization. Without faith there is no future. Those who have faith are entrepreneurs. The creators of things and the builders of things have faith in the future. Faith is the base on which civilization and culture is built. Apriorian fidocrats believe entrepreneurism represents the highest expression of human endeavor because entrepreneurism represents the highest and most pure kind of faith. Freedom is a result of faith in which entrepreneurs build community. Without entrepreneurs doing what entrepreneurs do best, community is just a group of juxtaposed persons living separate lives. Apriorian fidocrats believe negative costs impact human freedom and progress. When we create costs that do not naturally liquidate, we are the source of social costs and higher levels of risk. Risk is not compatible with entrepreneurism. The creation of risk cannot be reconciled with faith. Risk does not represent faith but fear. The Fidocratic Party promises to eliminate all social costs. Fidelity or faith is not consistent with or compatible with the creation of social costs. With faith there is no risk and therefore no room for the creation of liabilities. Social costs harm community and entrepreneurism is expressed within community, so social costs and the risk they create hinder entrepreneurism and erode the sense of community. If there is no sense of community, there is no faith. Fidocracy or fidelity is diametrically opposed to and inconsistent with the creation of social costs. The objective, purpose and mission of the Fidocratic Party is to systematically eliminate all social costs wherever discovered. Such a policy is consistent with the biblical principle of perfectibility.